Welcome to the Rebound Las Vegas, our ongoing series designed to get you back to work and back in business. I'm Trisha Keene. We'll spend the next 30 minutes showcasing hot jobs, talking about ways to keep your family safe, and we'll also look at ways to manage that stress so many are feeling. Here are this week's stories.
The pandemic hit a pair of Henderson companies pretty hard. When it looked like they weren't going to make it, their customers came to the rescue.
13 Action News anchor Trisha Keene takes you inside these unique businesses, all thankful to still be open.
You can come in, you can do wine tastings. We have red wine tasting, white wine tastings.
Welcome to Vegas Valley Winery on Eastgate and West Warm Springs in Henderson. Co-owner Patty Peters says she has experts ready to serve you.
The staff that we have, they're all winemakers. They understand wine.
They also specialize in hard cider.
We get our fruit from Gilchrist, and we've been doing that now for a couple of years, and our cider's very, very good.
Their locally produced wine or cider are made right on site. Behind a second door is a joint venture called Grape Expectations.
It's a social event.
Patty says this is the business that really pays the bills. Groups of friends, family, or coworkers can get together at this winemaking school to create their very own vintage.
You have so much fun and you learn so much about winemaking.
The business has been in operation for 15 years, but the pandemic nearly ended it all.
We were looking at how to liquidate. It was that bad.
Patty says no one was making wine when the pandemic shut everything down. So she emailed her customers.
I say, guys, if you're thinking about making wine with us next year, you need to make wine with us this year because we don't know that we're going to be here next year. And oh my God, the calls just started coming in.
Patty says loyal customers started investing in her winemaking. Today, business is picking back up, and Patty couldn't be more thankful.
We have incredible customers. You send chills at me just saying it. I mean, we were this close to closing our doors. We have the greatest customers on earth, the greatest.
For 13 Action News, I'm Trisha Keene.
This is tough stuff. There's not a person in the world right now, not just here in Tampa Bay, in the world right now, that hasn't gone through something very traumatic through this pandemic.
Sharon Feckerty is a recovering addict, health industry expert, and founder of the Doctor Whisperer, helping run medical practices from New York to Florida. She recommends as employees come back to the workplace, managers need to pay attention, especially if any staff members are acting differently.
But if they're a little more sluggish, or maybe they're not socializing, or maybe they're, not putting the camera on, somebody has to be bold enough to ask the question, are you okay? What's going on?
Feckerty says those same leaders need to be more sensitive and open-minded, asking employees how they want to move forward.
The employees are really counting on the employers to guide them through this. So getting that feedback from your staff is crucial. Don't just assume everybody's going to be super hyped up to be working from home.
And for the strong leaders out there, she says self-care is a must. So make sure you practice what you preach.
If you are not taking care of yourself, you absolutely cannot take care of anybody else. If you are telling everybody that they need to go and get some therapy, well, that's great. Are you practicing that yourself? People need to really take those breaks.
She also recommends checking on friends, especially those you think have it all together.
Check on your strong friends. Check on your friends that are funny. Check on your friends that are always look like they're doing great. Those are the ones that could probably use your help. The ones that are always providing a solution are the ones that need the most help.
Wendy Ryan, ABC Action News.
Station Casinos needs workers right now. The company will be holding job fairs next week to fill several positions. Here's a list of locations and times. Housekeeping, food and beverage, as well as table game jobs are open. Benefits for full-time workers include health insurance, 401k retirement plans, and paid holidays as well. Be sure to bring your resume with you.
This sale price even surprised you.
Yeah.
This new home under construction in Birmingham is just a block over from the office where Simon Thomas is managing a fast-growing realty brokerage firm in a red-hot real estate market.
We've recruited just under 80 agents in just around 2.5 years. Our sales are booming. The industry's great, knock on wood. It was a big part of it.
But Simon Thomas also believes the culture at Dobie Real Estate plays a key role in their success at attracting agents who generate listings and close deals.
I think our growth is from really just doing what we say we're going to do. It's very important to us. Our core values are very important to us.
And they're front and center on Dobie's marketing pamphlet for recruiting agents. Boss up, client above all, create value, be humble, come together.
One of the things we talk about here all the time is you're not on a team. You're your own individual. Sky's the limit, go. But you actually come in here and you have the support, though, of a team. It feels like that.
There are no agent offices in Dobie's 4,000 square foot office space. It's open and collaborative by design.
You have a $30, $40 million producer sitting next to a $3 million. How much can they teach each other? I didn't know what was going to happen when we did it. And I was just, saying, come on, please just work. And it's working. Last year, we finished the year with 48 agents. We averaged, I think, close to 5.2 million an agent. That's unheard of. So I like to look at it as our agents are all making money here. Our agents are all making a living.
Will you continue to grow? Are you going to get bigger?
Yeah, I love to grow. We want to go to multiple locations. We want to be the company in Michigan that within 7 years, 5 to 7 locations, multiple agents, and that will benefit our agents in each location because of the collaboration and just getting more done with more resources.
Welcome back to the Rebound Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories that you're watching today, visit our website, ktnv.com/rebound. The boost in business means federal authorities are trying to attract more TSA agents to work at McCarran. The agency is even offering a $1,000 bonus if you sign on. 13 Investigates reporter Joe Bartels is live at baggage claim. And Joe, parts of the airport are still not totally back to normal now.
Yeah, Tricia, not just yet. Masks are still required all over the airport property as well as onboard aircraft. Terminal 3 is open, but there's no flights going out of it because international travel remains heavily restricted. Take a live look here at baggage claim at Terminal 1. Domestic travel, a much different story, much busier. So much so, there's plenty of positions open to process passengers.
The barrage of luggage, bags, and people are piling up as passenger traffic takes off at McCarran.
It's gotten busier and busier here as the months have gone by here at McCarran. From February to April, we've seen just a large increase. February, we served 1.5 million passengers.
In April, almost double, 2.9 million passengers through McCarran. A much different story compared to a year ago, with stunning declines as Las Vegas shut down to weather the pandemic storm. Still, some traffic remains down, especially convention passengers and international travelers. As a result, Terminal 3 is not business as usual.
There are no flights occurring at T3 currently. Some airlines operate ticketing and baggage claim out of T3. So the building itself is open, but the E-concourse and the E-gates that normally would service international flights are not being utilized.
Joe Rachel with McCarran Airport tells me the consolidation of operations for now is beneficial for the airport and passengers.
With the current volume that we have, we're able to utilize the other gates, and that helps us with cost containment, with keeping resources towards those gates where people are traveling. But we're continuing to monitor that situation, and we're ready for it to. We'll be ready to reopen it when it's time.
The boost in domestic business means parts of the airport travel process are working to keep up. The Transportation Security Administration is looking to fill a number of full-time and part-time security screening officers. There's a $500 bonus just to start and another $500 after 1 year of service with the TSA.
And we have worked closely together, TSA and the airport, to make sure we are ready to receive whoever wants to come to Las Vegas. Our doors are open, we can handle it, and we look forward to that.
Joe says pack your patience as summer travel really takes off and expect longer lines during peak times, especially on the weekends.
And remember, a lot of people haven't traveled in a while, so it's taking longer to get through security. It's recommended you arrive at least 2 hours before a scheduled flight departure. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
Joe, thank you. And brand new technology should make checking in for your flight safer and quicker. Some of the upgrades include automated screen lanes. Now, these will allow for faster and more convenient, effective, and efficient checking of the bags. There's also a new sanitation system for bins, as well as a body scanner that will screen travelers for any security threats. All of this was unveiled on Monday.
If you think back to last year, we heard a lot about letters and how they were to predict our economic recovery from the pandemic. The U, the V, the K, and it's that last one, the K, and its widening disparity between the haves and have-nots that is actually the reason why things might get better faster than some had expected.
But we are certainly in the right place to have a speedy and quick reopening and recovery.
Elise Gould is a senior economist at the Economic Policy Institute, and she says the money saved during the pandemic is huge. In January of last year, prior to COVID, the U.S. savings rate, or money stashed after bills and spending, was 7.9%. When COVID hit, that number rose to 12.6%, and then by a month later, in April, when lockdowns began, that number rocketed to 32.2%. As spending decreased by more than 12%.
We did decide that we would save more, that we'd be more cautious about optional spending.
Denise King and her husband Daryl Buford were two of those people. They weren't remiss to the immense hardship so many in the country were facing. The unemployment rate rose from 3.5% to nearly 15%. But they figured if they could put some money away as an emergency fund, something they had never had before, they would. Over the course of the next 12 months, they were able to save $30,000 while donating more than $5,000 to charities benefiting those who were less fortunate.
When people are left out of the discussion or not invited to the table about what economic recovery and helping people plug in their resources, you do get concerned that for sure people will be left in the dust.
But not only did savings rise, debt plummeted. According to a recent study by Wallet Hub, Americans were able to pay off $80 billion in credit card debt in 2020 and more than $56 billion in the first quarter of this year. The result is spending, lots more, as the country finally begins to shift its focus to something that resembles a post-pandemic norm.
Well, the fiscal spending has been key to being able to speed up this recovery. So by my calculations, if we continue going on the track that we're going, month after month, if we keep seeing that, we could actually get down to 3.5% unemployment by the end of 2022.
The more people spend, the more businesses make, the more they can rehire staff, and the more those so-called have-nots will be able to finally find some relief. I'm Dan Grossman.
Welcome back to the Rebound Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories that you're watching today, visit our website, ktnv.com/rebound.
The pandemic changed the way so many companies do business. The owner of a Las Vegas salon says she wasn't going to sit around, though, and wait for things to get better. As 13 Action News anchor Trisha Keene shows you, that's when this entrepreneur decided to try something new, and it paid off.
We do here hair, nails, massages. We do have 3 estheticians, including myself. And we do have makeup station as well, where we do customized makeup services.
Katya Simonenko is the owner of Pearl Skin Studio on West Sahara in Fort Apache. A brief conversation is all it takes to see how passionate she is about skincare.
Acne, dryness, oiliness, because those are dysfunctions of the skin, and we teaching people what to do to improve the functions of the skin.
But things changed last March when the pandemic forced her to close her salon.
It was my birthday and I had to close the doors. And imagine, this is my baby. It was like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Katya knew her business might never be the same. As an esthetician, she decided to take time to sharpen her skills.
I developed new skills, new personal skills, and how to reconnect with clients better, how to provide better customer service.
She wasn't going to allow a closed-up shop to stop her from sharing her skincare knowledge with others. So she started contacting her clients by phone and even Zoom.
Basically, we were communicating constantly with them, reaching out to them. I realized that personal connection is very important.
Even while staying home, she says people wanted any helpful tips they could get.
We didn't know what's going to happen. We didn't know if we ever going to be open, but it was very important for me to be there for my clients.
Now that Pearl Skin Studio is back open, Katya says she's reaping the benefits of her efforts.
I've never had better business. After we reopened, this job for me is so fulfilling. I have a purpose to educate people, to help people with their skin.
Katya says she owes her success to her loyal clients and to this town.
Vegas is truly my home and my family's home. I love it. This is where I started my business, and I cannot even imagine leaving Vegas ever.
For 13 Action News, I'm Trisha Keene.
Welcome back to the Rebound Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories that you're watching today, visit our website, ktnv.com/rebound.
School is over. College grads are taking the necessary steps towards the next chapter in life. Mostly that means finding a job. 13 Action News anchor Trisha Keene spoke with a local expert, and the good news is the jobs are out there.
I think there's definitely jobs out there.
Sonia Pedowick is CEO and founder of the job recruiting firm Torian Consulting. She says now is a great time to be looking for a job, but it might be a little different than you expected.
I think the challenge is that you go into school 4 years ago, and today the job market looks insanely different. So your expectations might have to just be realigned to the opportunities that are in the market.
Daniel Hernandez says it's definitely changed.
I feel like they want more access like online. I think there's like more steps to kind of get yourself into the interview room now.
The marketing student just graduated from UNLV and says he's been working to update his online information.
A lot of jobs are looking for your LinkedIn pages now. I finally graduated. I was like, realized how much I neglected that LinkedIn page, and I was like, I had to clean that up.
Sonia can attest to that. While recently hiring for her own firm, she used the professional network to communicate with potential candidates.
So people applied for a job, and then I just shot them a note back through the LinkedIn recruiter tool and said, hey, I'm interested in talking to you. Do you mind answering a few questions via this video?
But just like your resume, be sure your LinkedIn information is current. Update your skills, responsibilities at previous jobs, and your accomplishments. Sonia says it's also important to connect with potential employers and engage in conversation.
It's great to walk into an interview and say, oh my gosh, I read your last post about XYZ, and be able to have a very, intelligent conversation.
Bottom line, any edge you can gain over other job candidates is key. Sonia says that's because many hiring managers and recruiters scan over most resumes in less than 10 seconds.
A lot of times we are really screening initially for where they are in the country, what type of jobs that they've had, their longevity, and if there's some excitement there, we'll engage in a conversation.
When you do get a chance to speak with an employer, Sonia says it's important to articulate your value. Use the acronym SAM or SAM. What can you save, achieve, or make for the company? As for Daniel, he's eager to show what he can do. His words of advice for other job hunters: don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Even if there's something that you feel like you're not qualified for, try to go for it anyways. Even if you get an interview, if you don't land the job in an interview, you still learn stuff, you still build your confidence up.
For 13 Action News, I'm Trisha Keene.
Thanks for watching the Rebound Las Vegas on your favorite streaming device. If you missed any part of this week's program, just hit the back button on your remote and scroll down until you see the Rebound, and you'll find every segment we aired in this episode. Stay tuned for more from 13 Action News after the break, and check us out anytime here on KTMV Streaming, Las Vegas News on your time.